Well, we are at our new house. Boxes are everywhere. We're still unpacking, and this is the house we almost didn't get.
The bank that pre-approved us said everything was great, and then on the day of closing they said, sorry, we can't give you the loan.
We were renting a house, and we'd already given our notice to move out, so we didn't know where we were going to live. With 3 small children, what do you do? Then we were referred to KLA Lending Advisors.
Within 4 or 5 days we had a commitment to loan, and then a week and a half later we closed.
We had no idea how important it was to choose the right lender. Now we do.
Everybody, this is Cody Kessler. We are coming to you live with this week's episode of KLA Now. We're coming to you from the Rockville office of Kessler Lending Advisors, a division of Home Range Financial Services, and we are bringing you this week's show, KLA Now. It is a live Facebook show. It is designed to talk to you and the consumers about everything that is mortgage related and real estate industry related. We talk about topics such as buying homes, selling homes, doing renovation loans, and all the types of mortgage products and everything that has to do with that industry. We are a live Facebook show. We come to you every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. And if you ever want to check out any of our amazing previous shows, make sure that you go to YouTube and you can search for any of those shows by checking us out under Kessler Lending, okay? So this is a live show that I've mentioned a bunch of times already, so make sure that you like and share us. It is really important to us to have that interaction, so we love it when you do it. Please comment, ask lots of questions. I got a staff full of people here ready to answer them and interact with you, so we greatly appreciate it. All right, so today's topic. Veterans Day is coming up, so is the Marine Corps birthday, but today we're going to talk about Veterans Day specifically. I am a former United States Marine, so these things are really, really important to me. So the topics today, we're going to talk about VA loan scams. There are tons of scams out there that are designed and geared towards veterans for multiple reasons, but we're also going to talk about what veterans need to know when they're going to buy a house. Choosing a mortgage bank versus the big military banks that you guys get spoon-fed. You all know which ones I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their names, but you know exactly what banks I'm talking about. We're also going to talk about, like I said, mortgage scams that are among veterans, namely when you're refinancing. Everybody knows what a streamlined VA refinance is, and we're going to talk about things that you need to look out for there. And we're going to talk about what the main red flags are to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of. But first, what I'd like to do, because it is Veterans Day, and as I said, we are veteran operated here, and at KLA and Homebridge, we really do care about our veterans. So I would like to go ahead and read something and just pay tribute to all the veterans out there and just say thank you for your service. So with no further ado, we're going to take a quick break, but before that, I'm going to go ahead and read something that's dedicated to the veterans of the United States military. I'm going to be reading the words of a writer by the name of Sean Bengali, and I'm going to be paraphrasing some of his words about the American veteran. Since 1776, American soldiers and military personnel have fought valiantly for the United States in times of need. Since the American Revolution, the American military has participated in numerous wars, from the Revolution to the War on Terror. In those wars, 1.5 million American soldiers have either been killed or wounded. It takes a certain type of person to risk their life for their country. And even though society has generally done a great job with being gracious to the military, we still can never thank them enough. We would not be where we are today without our military. Whether it was the Civil War that held our nation together, or World War II that made sure that a Nazi or imperial flag would not fly on our flag masts, the military has guided our nation to be the safe beacon of hope and freedom it is today. Though the wars that our military has fought throughout history, its goals and implications have been extremely similar. Our military has protected our citizens for centuries and protected all the values our nation stands for, such as freedom and democracy. In every war, they have the goal of conquering their goals for the cause they believe is just. In every war, soldiers know that they will have to kill enemies in order to protect their loved ones back home. In every war, families of soldiers say goodbye to their loved ones, not knowing if they will ever come back. War is about making excruciating sacrifices and believing that there is a cause that is greater than oneself. This ideal has never changed since the American Revolution. The main goal of the United States government that has never changed is to protect all innocent Americans on the home front. Throughout American history, the military has been the protectors of our society and the brave souls that have the courage to fight for our nation and ideals. All soldiers who serve honorably and for the right reasons deserve to be called heroes, as they ensure the safety of our moral ideals and values. Personally, I would like to thank all current military members and veterans who serve and have served our nation proudly. And to us here at KLA, every single one of them is considered a hero. I'd like to take a moment to thank every single veteran, those who currently serve and those who have served, and those who have given their lives to protect our great nation and the Americans that live within it. I thank you all for your service. May God bless all of you. Hey guys, welcome back. Again, my name is Cody Kessler, and in case you're just joining us, you are watching KLA Now, a live Facebook show dedicated to mortgage and real estate industry. If you are just watching us, which probably most of you are on your iPhones or Androids, but you're going to be on your mobile phone, I want you to do me a favor. See this big cool phone that just popped up here, right here? Click that button that says turn on, and you're going to get the notifications for when we go live. That way you don't have to wait for us or check out our emails or any of the other stuff. You'll just get that notification live on your phone. So it's really cool, so go ahead and please do that for us. Also, follow us on Instagram. We have a segment that's called Hot New Listings that we'll get to later, but this is where we put out all those cool listings. So go to Instagram and follow us at Kessler Lending. That'll give you the ability to see all those cool properties. So last week we started a new segment of the show, and it's where we give away a $25 gift card to Starbucks. And what you got to do to enter to win is just simply like and comment during our segment that we're talking about the topic. So last week's show, we actually chose a random winner, and this week's contest winner is Jessica Smith. Very good. Awesome. Excellent. So Jessica, congratulations. You won a $25 gift card to Starbucks. We hope you drink coffee. If you don't, you can give it away to a client or a friend. But we hope that you enjoy it. We'll contact you on how to receive it and get you your $25 gift card. So make sure that we'll be doing this again for this show, so that maybe later on in the segment, make sure that you like and comment to enter to win. Okay? So here we got a new segment. It is real estate news. This segment, we're going to be highlighting trends that are in the real estate and mortgage industry. So the first topic that we're going to cover, Topic that is pretty interesting. Single women are the largest growing market in home ownership. So 17% of all home buyers are single women. I got to tell you, this is a segment that is growing 2 times faster than single males. So, and that's according to the National Association of Realtors, NAR. But you'd be surprised. There's actually an interesting, detail to the information. It's primarily made up of older women. Now, I am not stupid enough to put a number on anything that would classify an older woman. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. I will tell you this. If you are a single woman and you are looking to get a mortgage, I'll tell you what, call us. We got lots of single guys here that are more than willing to give you some money so that you can go and buy that home. Who knows, if you are an older woman, we actually have some older mortgage loan officers here too that we can hook you up with. We'll try to do our best to do mortgages and be a matchmaker at the same time. So next topic that we're going to jump to. Homeowner equity has doubled in the last 5 years. This is fantastic. This information comes to us from CoreLogic, okay? That's an average gain of about $11,000 in housing value or equity that you're going into. And that's going to be determined upon what geographic location you're in the United States. Some are going to be more, some are going to be a little bit less, but I don't think that if you are here in the Washington, D.C. area, you have certainly seen your property appreciate in value over the last 5 years. In fact, we are at the highest levels that we have been at. We are higher than they were before the bubble broke back in 2007. So guys, that is fantastic, but at the same time, it's a little scary. Because if we are in another bubble, make sure that you're watching it. Don't do what you did last time, which is take all the equity out, get a second mortgage, a home equity line of credit, and then if those values drop back down, now you're underwater. Be financially prudent, make sure that you protect that equity, approach it in a very wise manner. But that's great news, glad to hear. The last topic that we're going to cover, Fannie Mae is revisiting their risk assessment software, okay? So they changed kind of how the Fannie Mae DU, or desktop underwriter, was reviewing the credit reports, okay? So they were taking a lot of information into consideration, things like, if I make good on-time payments, they actually weighted that a little bit heavier than some other things. So it's not just a credit score and your debts versus how much your leverage. They were looking at these things a little bit differently, but they're tweaking it. Originally, it just factored in the available credit that you had and timely monthly payments. The new system is going to be recording monthly spending over the last 2 years. So they're going to take that into consideration. It might help some of you guys out. It might hurt some of you, but it's certainly something to be aware of. It's time for our market rate update. This is the time of the show where we actually take a look back at the mortgage rates for the week preceding today. So we're looking at October 31st through November 4th. So last week, Monday to Friday. Even though it looks like it's going up and down, guys, you got to understand that this is actually a very small change. We're talking about 0.01% change from 3.59 to 3.6 to 3.59 to 3.6. You have seen them tick up, and so the volatility from last week, based upon the election, I got to tell you, mortgage rates, you're going to watch what's going on here pretty closely. So I can tell you this. I expect them to sit right around this level, but again, check in with us next week as we come back with next week's mortgage rate update. You got to remember, though, one caveat to this before we move on. These are national averages, guys. These are 30-year fixed national averages. So they take all of the data from all of the lenders and they put it together and they put it out. That doesn't mean that you can walk into a mortgage company and say, hey, I need 3.6. Mortgage rates actually trade in coupons at on halves and wholes, okay? So what that really means is 3.5, 3.625, 3.75. So you're either going to be slightly below and have to pay a little points, or maybe be slightly above and maybe a lender can give you a credit. So if you have any questions on that and you would need some more guidance, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us at Kessler Lending Advisors at homebridge.com. All right, you are just joining us. My name is Cody Kessler. I'm the host of KLA Now. You are joining us for a live Facebook show. Come to you every Wednesday night at 6:30 live. The show is all about the housing and real estate markets, mortgage products, programs, you name it, we talk about it. It's designed to give you, the buyer and seller, inside information. If you are just joining us also, check out this little phone right here. Click on Turn On, and you're going to get live notifications so that you will not have to worry about when we're going live and worry about tuning in to watch our amazing show. All right, time for our next segment, hot new listings. I'm telling you, this is getting a lot of traction. If you are a real estate agent and you want to get your listing on this, send it to us. Send it to us at Kessler Lending Advisors at homebridge.com, or you can go online and actually upload your property at the website to go ahead and do this for our hot new listings website, okay? So today we got two new listings for the DMV. First listing is coming to you from Gail Lee, great real estate agent out in Poolesville, Maryland, serves Montgomery County, but really specializes in Poolesville. She's got a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. This house is located in a cul-de-sac and it's got a great front porch, a renovated kitchen, and most importantly, no HOA fees. If you have ever lived in an HOA before, you can tell finding a house that is of this caliber with no HOA, that's a find. It's going on the market at $617,500. If you got any questions, give Gail a call. All her information is up on the screen. Listing number 2, coming to us from JJ Nagel. JJ brings us a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home with a large kitchen. It opens up into a living room. It's got a shaded deck, fenced-in backyard, coming on the market at $375,000. Give JJ a call if you're interested in seeing more about this property. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to jump right into our topic of today: VA loan scams. What you need to know when buying a home as a veteran. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Everybody, welcome back to KLA Now. I am Cody Kessler, your host for the show. We are talking about veterans. The whole show is about veterans today because it is Veterans Day on November 11th. So we are going to jump in. Our topic that we're going to start with: what do you need to know as a veteran when you're buying a home? How do you differentiate a mortgage company, a mortgage bank versus the big military banks? I'm a former United States Marine, and every single veteran that I've ever talked to has been spoon-fed the big military banks. From the time that you get, out of boot camp, you're in school doing whatever. The first thing they tell you to do is go open up a bank account. Oftentimes, representatives from those banks will come in and talk to you, highly encouraging, and then you start a great relationship. So the thing that most people don't know, and if you're taking an example where one of these companies that I'm referencing, and obviously I'm not going to say any names, but one of these is one of the greatest banks on the planet. They really do. They do a fantastic job with checking accounts and savings accounts and CDs and managing your money, and their customer service is fantastic. But at some point, they decided that they were going to get into the mortgage business. And really, it is not their mainstay. It's not what they do. It was another way for them to make money off of their consumers, so they just kind of threw their hat in the ring. That's not really what anybody should be looking for when they are looking to get a mortgage. Mortgages are a very complex process. There's lots of logistics that go into that, and they have to be done the right way. They can't be, done loosey-goosey, or they can't be done with a very little amount of due diligence, because what happens is things go wrong. And when they go wrong, bad things happen along with that. And what most people don't understand is the bank doesn't have any liability. It falls solely on the buyer, pretty much. So, really what we have to make people understand is that when you go to vet out the mortgage company, okay, make sure that they're doing specific things. VA loan, we can go back and we'll put this up on the screen here, but you can actually go and check out our video where we've done an entire segment dedicated to details of VA loans, how to go through them, what the benefits are, and everything else. But this show is to talk to you about what to look out for, okay? So when you get referred, or if you call up your bank, which is a big military bank, make sure that you are not getting the normal process that they put most veterans through, which is a very quick and easy pre-approval, okay? It is a known fact that they do very little due diligence on the front end. This is both of the big military banks that I'm referring to. They have a propensity to basically just tell you some quick and easy things. They'll ask you a few questions. They'll tell you what you want to hear. They'll give you a nice shiny piece of paper that says that you are pre-approved to go spend a large amount of money. Chances are they have not done the due diligence that's required to protect you. So make sure that you understand what that process entails. Make sure that these banks are checking your documents, that they're getting the full list of documents. I can't tell you how many times that we have to bail a veteran out because they have not done the proper amount of due diligence at the other bank, and now they're stuck. It's the day before closing, the week before closing. The bank has promised them that they're going to close on time, and now all of a sudden they've got a major problem. So that's usually where we get called in because we're trying to clean up the mess that somebody else has created. Don't allow that to happen. You'd be surprised. There are countless listing agents in this area, in the Washington, D.C. area, that will not accept pre-approval letters from specific big military banks because they know that the actual due diligence has not been performed and the strength of that pre-approval letter is not very good. And they don't actually trust accepting those offers because they want to protect their seller. They want to make sure that that financing is going through. Another thing that buyers need to know, there's a lot of sellers that actually will shy away from VA loans because they have misconceptions about them. They actually think that VA loans are difficult. They think that the seller has to pay for certain pieces of that, and then it's more expensive or difficult to do a VA loan. The reality is this. A VA appraiser is chosen by the VA. Now, there's nothing that any bank can do, okay, because these VA appraisers go out, they are only selected by the VA. They have a substantial amount of time to go and complete that appraisal. But the appraisal is pretty much like any other appraisal that's being done, conventional, FHA, what have you. What most people don't understand is what the seller needs to pay for is simply, if you get a contract, a VA contract, they all require a pest inspection, okay? The seller has to pay for the pest inspection. That's it. If any remediation is required, seller doesn't have to pay for that. Obviously, you as the veteran can negotiate that, but it's not required per VA terms, okay? So knowing that those are the only two things that you really need to be aware of, a VA loan is a great way to get into a property where it has no money down, expanded guidelines, meaning that you can actually spend a little bit more than you could on a conventional, but the VA rules are this. We're gonna do what's best for the veteran. So we're able to make sure that things happen for veterans where maybe somebody else wouldn't be able to get that opportunity if they weren't, okay? So we're gonna move on to our next part here. We're gonna talk about VA loan scams. This part is something that you need to be really aware of because this is where I've seen a lot of things go wrong. So I'm gonna allude to a story. This is a true story. I used to do a radio show with a gentleman by the name of Eric Stewart. And I got a phone call one day from a elderly lady, and her story was this. I heard you on the radio, and I wanted to give you a call because I feel as though that I just did something terribly wrong. And this wonderful woman, she had just closed on a mortgage, I think about a week before. And she had been working with a company that had proactively reached out to her. They had her contact information. She had never done business with them before, but they reached out to her, and they had sent her several letters before that she had always torn up and thrown away. But at this point in time, because of what was going on in her personal life, she opted to take a look at it. And so I'll give you a quick story about what was going on. Her husband, who was a retired colonel in the Air Force, had just come down with this very, very severe and life-threatening illness. One of her daughters had just passed away, and the other one had just been diagnosed with cancer. So all of this happened in a very short period of time. And this lovely woman had never taken care of the family's finances. That had always been left to her husband to take care of. And so now here it is, dumped on her plate. And they have a company that's calling and reaching out to her to try to refinance her VA loan. And basically they were saying that all she had to do was streamline this mortgage, and it would be no documentation, no assets, no income, just a credit pull, which is only a mortgage history, no appraisal, and off we go. Doesn't sound terrible, except for the fact that they promised this young lady that they would refinance her at 3%. Now at the time, a very low but market rate was at 3.25%. Actually, most mortgage companies were giving about 3.5%. But 3.25% was something that could definitely be done. This young lady had taken a loan and was promised that if she closed the loan, it would close at 4.5%. But every month, it would go from 4.5% and it would be reduced by 0.25% until the 30-year fixed loan got down to 3%. Okay. So first, what we want to point out here is that this is a common scam that many companies employ. And they do it because a VA loan, a VA streamline, or an IRRRL, okay, VA IRL, is a very easy way for a mortgage company to make money. There is what they call an enormous amount of premium or money when mortgage companies sell VA loans to Ginnie Mae, the federal enterprise that purchases government loans, okay? So what this company did was they took her mortgage and they set it up at 4.5%. And they told her that every month it would drop on its own, but that's not the truth. Because every month what they do is they send you documents every month that all you need to do is, like I said, just sign the new loan documents, and then you will have to go to a closing, but most people don't catch that. And all they do is take it from 4.5%, 4.25%, 4%, all the way down until they can't refinance it anymore, either because they can't lower the rate anymore or the market has come up to a point that it no longer makes sense. How do they do this? What they do is they tell the borrower that they will cover all the closing costs. Okay? So the lender, the mortgage company, is basically paying for those closing costs. That way the client feels as though that it's a free refinance and that they're getting the benefit of a lower mortgage. And ultimately, if they believe that the market's at 3.5%, they're going to get to 3%. So that all they need to do is wait those 6 months or so, and it's going to get down to a point that nobody else can get an interest rate at. So it's a fantastic pitch if you're not aware of what it is. However, every single time you refinance, what happens is you are streamlining. You're adding 0.5% of the loan amount on top, because every time you do that, there's a VA funding fee that gets charged. 0.5%. So it's a $400,000 loan amount. Every time you refinance, you're going to put an extra $2,000 into the loan on top. You're also, even though you do have credit, a credit coming from the lender to cover your closing costs, you have escrows. And most lenders don't have the ability to net escrows because they're not holding that escrow account. So what happens is this. They tell you that you're going to roll everything else into the loan. They increase your loan amount some more, but you get a little bit of cash back every 2 to 3 weeks. Again, this sounds fantastic. You're going to refinance, you're going to lower your interest rate, you don't have to make a mortgage payment, and you're going to get money back. If you are an unsuspecting buyer, and this is not just veterans, but mortgage companies prey on veterans because they're banking on the fact that they are not informed consumers. We are here to make sure that this doesn't happen to you guys. So let's talk about how you get into that real quick. These guys go around and in some cases illegally purchase your information so that they can market to you. Whether that is a email, whether that's a mailer that you get in the post office, or that's a phone call. These guys should not have your information. They are buying that information, or they are going and obtaining that in a way that is not authorized, okay? So that should be red flag number one. The fact that they are reaching out to you. Any company that's reaching out to you is doing what? Selling something. And if somebody's selling something, they're not doing it for free. They're doing it so that they can make money. So your alerts, your radar should go off right as soon as somebody contacts you. If you're going to refinance, make sure that you're doing it with a reputable company that you know and trust. You can always reach out to us if you would like information on this. We are here to answer any questions. Second red flag. If somebody is contacting you and they're offering a fixed mortgage that is going to change in interest rate, that is not something that is even possible. A fixed rate mortgage is just that. The rate is fixed for the term of the loan. So if it's a 30-year loan, that mortgage rate does not change ever at all, okay? There are no special programs with the VA. There are no trick programs with the VA. It is a very plain vanilla loan program. So remember that. If anything sounds even slightly out of the norm, that would be a red flag, and something that you would want to stand up and walk away from. Next, you should always talk to a local company, okay? The guys that do these scams are running what I call a chop shop, okay? When I say chop shop, what it means is it's a call center. They don't have local people. It is literally just a boiler room of people sitting down constantly on the phone because the phone is ringing based upon the marketing that they're doing. There are a number of companies. Some are based right here in Maryland that specifically focus on veterans loans and streamlined refinances. The same company that I referenced earlier that got actually shut down and had to open up under a new name is currently in operation and marketing the same exact product to veterans around this country. There have also been many documented veteran scams by things like this. A mortgage company will approach a veterans organization. I won't mention any organizations, but there are many organizations out there that have large numbers of veterans that have joined. And essentially the mortgage company would come up with an agreement that would say something like this. If you market me to your veteran constituents, I will pay you for every loan that comes into me. Guys, that is about as illegal as it gets, not to mention the morals and ethics that go along with that, or the lack thereof, is just ungodly. So guys, I take these things very seriously. As a former United States Marine, I feel as though that it is my duty to protect my brothers and sisters who are veterans in every way, shape possible. So this information, I want to make sure that you get out. So if you're a veteran and you're out there listening to this, and you have questions about a refinance, if you have questions about buying a home, even if, guys, we are not doing business with you, feel free to call me. I will take the time to answer any and all questions. I feel it is so important to me. And I want you guys to know that I am here as a fellow veteran to make sure that you are getting the information that you deserve, to make sure that nobody takes advantage of you, okay? So guys, that is what we've got today. Again, let us know. If you've got questions, leave it in the comment section here. Hopefully we've done a good job of answering any comments that you guys have had. We'll make sure that we get back to them. And if anybody has any additional questions, like I said, you can ask them offline by emailing us at KesslerLendingAdvisors@homebridge.com. Like us on Facebook, guys. Go to Facebook. It's /Kessler Lending Team. Follow us on Twitter. You can find us at Kessler _Lending. I'm going to say that again. You can find us on Twitter at Kessler _Lending. And then you can also follow us on Instagram at Kessler Lending. So you can always reach out to us at KLA for anything at all. You can reach us. All our information is up on the screen right now. Feel free to call us. Feel free to email us. Even stop by, shake our hand. I'll end with this. The veterans of the United States of America are something that is extremely important. And we try to work very closely with an organization called Platoon 22 because this organization is something that I am extremely involved in. Platoon 22 works to end the approximate 22 veterans a day that commit suicide. It is a fantastic organization. Not only are they raising awareness, but this organization is working to develop programs and research that is designed specifically to get this number down to 0. So what we do, to let you know how serious we are about this, and as a thank you to all veterans, every veteran loan that we close, we will donate $250 to Platoon 22. If you are a veteran and you would like to make that donation in yours or someone else's name, we would be more than happy to make that happen. Just mention Platoon 22 when you give us a call, and we can go ahead and make that donation in your name when that loan closes. So guys, thank you so much. A heartfelt thank you and a salute to all the veterans of the United States military. God bless America. God bless our veterans. Thanks so much for watching KLA Now. We'll see you next week.
Well, we are at our new house. Boxes are everywhere. We're still unpacking, and this is the house we almost didn't get.
The bank that pre-approved us said everything was great, and then on the day of closing, they said, sorry, we can't give you the loan.
We were renting a house, and we'd already given our notice to move out, so we didn't know where we were going to live. With 3 small children, what do you do? Then we were referred to KLA Lending Advisors.
Within 4 or 5 days, we had a commitment to loan, and then a week and a half later, we closed.
We had no idea how important it was to choose the right lender. Now we do.